Happy Thursday and welcome to the You Good podcast, the podcast where oversharing is encouraged and the thoughts get real. Today we have a very special episode for you. We are kicking off, as you may have noticed, the You Good rebrand and dropping the bro, as well as introducing our first guest on the show. We're talking pre-work hype music, what gets you going for the day. We'll dive into the dreams that we had growing up and how they've changed. And lastly, pregnancy and parenthood with kind of everything in between. Really excited to have our first guest, so let's get into it. Welcome back, Nick. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning, man. How you doing? I'm doing all right. All right. It's a good day.
I'm good to hear. I'm glad we are officially starting the You Good podcast, right? You want to talk about the rebrand?
Oh, yeah. No, we're dropping the bro.
Dropping the bro, and this has come from feedback from people who were like, oh, I just thought your podcast was about men's mental health, or I thought that your podcast was simply just about bros and talking about bro things like sports and college. And while, yes, that is a part of it, it's also about being inclusive, open to all aspects of people's mental health, whether you're male, female, in between, indifferent, it doesn't matter. But also I've gotten a lot of feedback from my own females and my own friends who have listened to our episodes, and they're like, hey, I loved that episode, or there was something that I learned in that episode that maybe I have myself thinking in a different way. So I just figured that we drop the bro. I know it's something that we've been talking about for a while. I wanted to build our foundation as bros, but now simply the You Good podcast. Any input there for you?
Yeah, no, it makes total sense.
No, you get it.
I totally on board. Totally on board.
So I did post a little thing on Instagram yesterday with a black screen that said goodbye to bro You Good, and people were like, oh, you finally quit on this? You finally gave up? And fuck those people. But then I also had people who were like, hey, it sucks that the podcast is ending. I'm like, good. It's a marketing ploy. Feel that way, but wait for tomorrow. So the other awesome thing today is we finally have our first tripod. We have the original co-host, the OCH. Preston, welcome.
Hey, how's it going? Happy to be back. What does OCH mean?
Original co-host. It's a playoff of a wrestling thing, original tribal chief. I'm giving you too much credit, but welcome back. So,
appreciate it. Happy to be back. Give me all the credit that you like, by the way. I
original tribal.
Original tribal chief, original co-host. The one thing that I want to mention is, although this is the first time that Nick and Preston and I are on together, it's also the first time that they are meeting each other face to face or virtual to virtual. But ironically, they have known each other through fantasy football for the last 4 or 5 years, and none of us kind of put the two together that you guys actually, like, quote unquote, know each other, right?
Well, you could say you have been competing against each other and trying to take each other's money for the past few years.
Yeah, that's about it. Yeah, no, I don't even think we've talked. Like I know I've thrown out like messages, but I don't even know if they've landed. Like,
yeah. So very funny. Who has taken more money from who? I'm gonna assume it's probably me taking the most money from you guys because most of the time you don't make the playoffs. Is that correct?
Well, yeah, that's because, we're going to get into the draft pick situation that we've had going on, but we'll leave that at that.
We can talk about that next episode.
I'm set up pretty decent this year.
So, different topic, different episode, but the main reason that we are here today, and one of the most fun parts for me as a host of this show, is bringing on our first guest. I talked about this being kind of a staple for something that I wanted to do while Preston and I were planning. It was originally going to be a guest after episode 3, but Preston decided that he wanted to build a longer, stronger foundation of just us before we transitioned to Nick coming in episode 4, so it kind of worked itself out to where we had 3 of Preston, 3 of Nick, and now we're kind of all here as a big happy family. Are you okay if I use your last name or just your first name? Let's just go with your first name. Brittany is a very good friend, but not just a good friend. She has been essentially family to me that I kind of lost. She was definitely my Tampa family. We will get into where she moved and where she lives now, but we did work together for almost 2 years where Preston was our manager. We definitely got along with each other, making fun of Preston and getting through work on a daily basis, and not making fun of, but making jokes and different things and office hijinks. But it's been 6 years of knowing each other. We have stayed close. And with that, I want to officially welcome our first guest to the You Good podcast, Brittany Z.
Hey, thanks for having me on, guys. I'm super excited to get to be a guest, let alone the first guest. So excited to be here. And I definitely would say we probably made fun of Preston at times.
I'm very well aware that you guys were making fun of me the whole entire time, by the way. I just want to let you guys know that.
Awesome. Well, I'm very happy to have you here. Hopefully you're ready for this. And like I said, we're just going to kind of jump into it. The first thing that we've kind of started doing on the podcast, I don't know where this accent is coming from today, is
all
of a sudden I'm Boston. Oh, I hate it. It's gross. One word mental health check-in.
Podcast.
One word, we're not going to kind of dive into anything, but just thinking from my mental aspect, I am very thankful today. You know, there are many reasons that I'm thankful, but in the essence of keeping this short, I'm very thankful today. Nick, one word for me. How are you doing mentally?
Content.
Content. I like content.
I'm
content is good.
I'm content. Yeah.
Preston?
I don't have one word.
It's just one
I've
word.
been away. I don't have one word.
What is your one word for being away? How does that mentally make you feel?
Good.
There you go. Good. Brittany?
I was going to say good, but Preston stole that, so I'll just say excited. I mean, I don't get to do a whole lot of stuff with you and Preston all the time. Now we're both all three busy all the time, so just excited to be here with you guys.
Yeah, so we actually did... Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, and meet Nick. I feel bad for leaving him out.
No.
That's
Nick's
fine.
a part of the family now.
Yeah.
Nick's a part of the family. We actually used to have game nights. I missed that. COVID. Do you remember those? When it was COVID, we would all log on to the computers and play the computer games or Xbox games virtually. I love that.
It's so funny you said that,
I
because
did
right
that
before
once
it
in a
came
while.
out, Britt said to tell you we should start doing game nights again.
Yeah, I tried to. I made a Facebook group and I posted it sometimes, but we should definitely start trying that. You did that before too, Nick?
Yeah, I joined yours, I think, before. You used to stream
Yes.
it, right? Yeah,
I did stream it,
I
yep.
definitely joined it. Like, I was like, yeah, no, this is awesome. I've done it with other, like, my friends too. Well, not that
Yeah.
you're not my friend, but like,
No,
the
right.
the boys over on this side of town as well. But no, it's I did it with my friends up in New York. I get them to log in and I'll stream it. So it's fun, especially that Jack in the Box stuff.
Well, that was the origin of it. But back during COVID, that's right. The game was the Jack in the Box. That's what you guys got, and you were like, "Hey, do you guys want to play?" And I had played it before as a kid, but that's where it started from, right, Brittany? That was your idea.
Yeah, it was one of my, because that again, COVID. One of my friends from Michigan, we were all doing it virtual. They had it, and we started playing it, and it was so much fun. All the little games that you could do, and then Chris was like full in. He's like, "I got all of them, so whatever you guys want to play." And yeah, it was a lot of fun.
I love that. So I mentioned that you and Preston and I worked together at a former employer, and the dynamic was Preston was our boss. Preston was our manager. I was a studly new hire that Preston knew to help get everything off the ground and scale. And Brittany was kind of transitioning in between departments, right? looking into sales. I think you came from customer success, if I remember correctly. And then you went into engineering. Does that all sound like I remembered everything?
Yeah, yep, pretty close, yeah. I think I was, like, Preston's second hire on the team.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, we had a hire before you, but I was really excited once you got on because I just felt like we just fit together right away.
Brittany was before you, Chris, just saying.
I was.
Brittany was before me. She worked there longer. That makes sense. Hire within. And then you brought on the stud to, grow it all, and I became a commodity that they wanted to trade away, and I was like, don't trade me away. Unbelievable.
I forgot about that they did try to trade you at that one point.
Yeah, to that systems or whatever, and I was only there for like 2 months.
You couldn't let the ducky shirt go.
Yeah, no. Oh, I forgot about that.
I didn't forget about that.
So Nick, I back then I was a little bit more in shape, and I was able to order these crazy polo t-shirts. No, they weren't polos. They were button downs, like Hawaiian t-shirts. And because we were going back into the office. This was before COVID, and I used to have this bright blue shirt with all rubber duckies on it.
Okay.
And
from Johnson and Murphy.
What's Johnson and Murphy?
It's the brand. It's the store you got the shirt from.
No, yeah. I got those off of like some weird Irish.
No, that was we went to Tampa International Mall, and you got the Johnson and Murphy shirt that had the ducks on it.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
That doesn't sound familiar. I don't think that's true. We'll have to look it up. Anyways,
he's like very specific. It's like burned into his brain.
He's the Rain Man of very weird things. So where did we go? We went to Austin, right? Austin, and it was our leadership conference, Preston.
Like go to market kickoff.
Okay, so we do this big company get together. It's the first time that I'm meeting so many of these people, and we had to go on stage and give a pitch. Is that what it was?
Yep.
A pitch about our product. You're not helping me remember. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah. You had to go up. I think you actually volunteered, to be completely honest. And I remember
he did.
I remember very clearly. Preston did say though before we went to Austin, Chris, don't bring the ducky shirt. And you were like, okay, well, and then on the one day that we had to do presentations, Chris rolls down in the ducky shirt, and I just remember seeing Preston's face like, God damn it.
No, that is exactly what happened. That is exactly because I do remember.
I don't remember that part.
Please don't wear the duck shirt, and then the most important 30 minutes of the trip, you wore the duck shirt on stage.
Well, it was a good choice because if I remember, people clapped when I came off, and the CEO, whatever his name is, I don't remember. I guess we're not going to say that anyway, so it doesn't matter. What's the word I'm looking for?
He gave you
called it out.
Yeah.
That I was in this ducky shirt and confident in it.
He did get a lot of props and compliments on the ducky shirt, so I think while Preston was probably like, damn it, it did redeem the situation.
Yeah, he hated that everybody loved it.
I think
you're right. You're right. I was against the duck shirt at the very beginning, but it ended up turning out to be a pretty big hit.
Was that after we were drunk? Was that hangover morning or no?
I had a separate hangover morning, so I don't know if I can mine was like the first day, and then you guys were the second day.
So it definitely wasn't first day then. I wouldn't have wore that the first day.
No, you wore it the last day.
Okay, so it was, and that was I think it was a 3-day event. So
yeah.
I ask that because the other fantastic story of that weekend is Brittany decides that she was going to go out with a different team and stay out longer. That might have been night one, right? Was that night one?
It was.
Yeah. So Brittany stays out longer. We all go to bed like responsible adults because we have to be buttoned up for this presentation in the morning. Preston wants us down there, so we come down. I don't drink, and here comes Brittany. I think you were texting us that you were going to be late or something.
I got there on time, so like I want to say I woke up 10 minutes before we had to be there, but Preston made it very clear no one was to be late, and I was there at the 8 o'clock on the dot. Didn't get to eat breakfast, but I got there at 8 o'clock on the dot. And I remember asking you, "Can you just give me some bread, please?"
I remember that. I do remember that happening. Yeah.
And I had something even better than bread, because for some reason they had probably mixed my room up, but they put this Deep Eddies, the alcohol, the vodka, I think it is. They put a Deep Eddies bag in my room, and they were like, "Thanks for staying with us," blah blah blah, and like there was this whole like welcome package, and I'm like, did anybody else get this? And people I had messaged were like, no. So I was like, okay, it must have just been a mix-up. But I grabbed the bag and I take it down with me, and Brittany's like, do you have any, can you bring me any food? And I was like, oh, I have something better. I have this little shot here of vodka. Is this something that you would want? Like, slid it to her under the table.
I did not.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I did not take it, though, because I will say that was probably one of my funnest event things I've ever gotten to go to. Like, we had such a good time that night, and I got, I think, over half of the team at a gay bar, so I mean, how much better could it be? And everyone was dancing. But yeah, Chris was like, "Here, would this help?" And I'm like, "I don't even want to see that. Put it away." I don't even think when we went out, like, I remember we had a break, and I'm like, I'm just gonna lay down in my room. Like, I didn't eat lunch. I ate dinner that night. But when everyone else was drinking, I'm like, I'm good. Like, I just kept sipping water. I'm like, I'll hang out, but I'm not doing anything. I look at that now, that was like almost 10 years ago now, and I'm like, no. I would have been like, call an ambulance. I couldn't handle it now.
Whoa. That was 5 years ago. That was,
It's been longer than that, because I've been at my current place for 4 years, and that was halfway through my time.
Oh,
so.
I was probably 2018 then?
Yeah. It's been, also pre-COVID.
Yeah, that's right.
It's been a while.
So every morning, it was always a guessing game of what kind of mood is Brittany in this morning with Preston and I, because there were so many different Brittany's. There were pre-9 a.m. Brittany's. There was coffee or no coffee Brittany. There was what music did Brittany listen to on the way in? How is she feeling? And one of our favorite things to do, aside from messing with Brittany if she had to be in before 9 a.m., was to just kind of poll what the music was that she listened to. If she was in a good mood, she was probably listening to Cardi B or Megan Thee Stallion at the time. And walk us through kind of your mindset, because what I want to talk about is go-to music or theme songs. Because I know that so many people have a different preference of what they're listening to when they go into work, or if you are a laborer or something, you work outside, maybe you're bumping your own music while you work. What was your go-to music, and what got you most amped to come into work?
I'm a big believer in the type of music you listen to, like, affects your whole mood, and I know not everybody is like that, but especially with what we were doing back then, I feel like you really had to get hyped up to do calls, so I'm a big, like, hip-hop, rap, any, like, 90s music to really get going for the day. So, just like you said, like, Cardi B Money was my number one go-to back then. Like, I would listen to that on repeat. The guy that sat next to me used to be like, I could hear it through your headphones. And I'm like, good, get yourself hyped. We're getting these calls done. But if I were listening to sad music, it's probably not going to be, like, the greatest day for Brittany. Because I agree. If I'm not in the best mood, if I need a break, like, it's all sad. All, like, anything that's going to make you feel depressed, like, that's where I'm like, all right, if we're going to have a bad day, let's just take it, we'll send it. Have a bad day.
Is there ever a time that you listen to, like, emo music or maybe slower R&B, even though you're in a good mood?
So I will say now, I've really gotten into a playlist called Divorced Dads Rock. I don't know why, but it's on Spotify if you ever need to go in. It's got and it's not like emo, but it's like a lot of Nickelback, Papa Roach, like.
That sounds amazing.
I love it. It's like I said, Creed. It's called, Creed's Creed, on there. Yep. Yeah, it's that has been like where it's like supposed to be a little bit more sadder, but like when I'm like really starting to like get pumped or if I'm trying to get through a bunch of work stuff that I need to like bust out, that has been my new go-to. It's the divorced dad rock.
I love that. I love that. What about you, Nick? I guess do you work in a like a factory or like a warehouse? Is it loud, or are you able to listen to your own music?
Yeah, no, yes. The answer is yes to both. Yes, I work. There's a machine shop side, but we are able to listen to music. They have a bunch of Bluetooth radios and stuff, so it's nice. When I gotta get hyped, it's always like rap. I go to rap normally. The other day though, I found myself listening to System of a Down, and I was like, yeah, I can get back to
Chop
listening
Suey?
to this yeah, all of it. Like I just started going down a rabbit hole, like because I hadn't listened to it in so long. So like the whole I think the Hypnotize album came on. Like I was like okay. But no, mostly in my office, I mostly listen to like Spotify has a few like playlists that it procures, and I'm like I let it do its thing. It's like the Discover Weekly, new arrivals, and then I'll let the virtual DJ, just spin its thing. But I guess for me lately, it's been jazz that it's like given me.
Jazz.
It's I love jazz. Yeah, dude. I play the trumpet.
Classical jazz while you're making guns. Just
no, it wasn't. It wasn't like it's more like
firearms.
Like
I'm sorry, firearms.
Jazz. Yeah, you call guns firearms. I don't care. I don't care.
And then Preston, you're listening to Backstreet Boys on the daily, just like me, right?
Yes, I listen to Backstreet Boys very often. Much better
So
than
dumb.
NSYNC. Just throwing that
False.
part out there.
So false. So
so
wrong.
many more,
So
so
wrong.
many more hits than what NSYNC has.
Wrong.
Not all
Wrong.
ballads.
Mostly.
Mostly ballads. No, so my go-to, especially if it's before work, is Nas and Damian Marley's Distant Relative album. Absolutely amazing. I would always listen to Strong Will Continue. If you haven't heard it, listen to it. It'll get you going. It's got the kind of reggae vibe, the hip-hop vibe, a little bit of rock, kind of just a little bit. It'll get you going.
All right.
Can we also talk about, though, how Preston would ruin all of our hype music by sending us that weird YouTube link? You know what I'm talking about with, like, the German song? That put a damper in my day because it would just be stuck in my mind all day, and I just be like, and I'm like, no amount of music would cancel that out.
It's the greatest Russian song ever made.
I'll have to share that on the story so people can also hear it. What did they just go? They were like yodeling or no.
Well, that's what the guy does. He just sticks his tongue out in the music video, and that's how he sings.
Preston, tell us about the hot dog maker in Office.
What?
From a manager's perspective.
One of the
You had
worst
glizzies
decisions
on
I
deck?
think that we've made.
That's what I was going for.
Yeah, that would have been nice, except there were never any hot dogs that were on the hot dog roller. It was always... So these guys were putting taquitos on this hot dog roller, and the thing is that they would not actually turn over. They would just burn. They would just burn and smoke up the break room. And do you know who got in trouble for that?
Wait. We gotta start from the beginning. You can't just start with the end.
He Tarantino'd it. It's fine. He Tarantino'd it. You got this.
I'm clearly still upset about this.
Bring us home. Bring us home.
Clearly, I'm still upset.
So this was pre-COVID. We still worked in an office, and in between, we had the sales side, and then we had the dev side. And in between the two sides was a kitchenette kind of like meeting room, a lunch break room, if you will. But it wasn't like a room. It was very open. There was two hallways. But there was a refrigerator, which was pretty awesome, and it was usually stocked with sodas, alcohols, waters, whatever it might be. And we had no food, right? Did we have snacks? Did we have like chips and stuff or what?
There were,
Yeah, there was chips and like Slim Jims and stuff like that.
Yeah, nothing good. So I don't remember who came up with the idea to like, hey, let's get a hot dog maker. Was it me or was it somebody else?
It was your idea.
it was either you or you. I feel like it was a tag team effort, and then you guys brought it to Preston. I was not involved in the hot dog maker because it just did not sound like a great idea.
So in college, I had this hot dog maker, and it was just like one of the hot dog makers you see in a gas station, where it's a little like roller, a few rollers. You could put like 6 hot dogs in it, and at the top there was like a bun steamer, and it was always fantastic. You know, I would always get like the 50 pack of hot dogs for like $10, and it would last forever, and just it was always a quick meal. So I was like, hey, this is a great thing. I don't remember how we got there. I don't know if we talked about a competition or if we won something and we got to pick it. I don't know, but we came up with the idea that, hey, a company hot dog maker would be great. And I thought we had gotten it approved from the right channels. Maybe it was we just asked Preston. He was just like, sure, but never really checked with anybody else. So we put this hot dog maker. I remember we bought I think we all split we all pitched in to get the hot dog maker, right?
Yeah.
And we put it in the break room, and I said, I'm not going to buy the hot dogs, so you have to bring your own hot dogs. And I think maybe the first time I brought a pack of hot dogs, I don't remember, or maybe I brought my own. And I think everything went well. But then I remembered that one day we got like a fire notice, or somebody started a fire on the hot dog maker, right?
Yeah, because you guys weren't cooking hot dogs. You were doing the taquitos, the frozen taquitos that would not spin. And they would just sit there and burn and smoke up the break room.
Well, besides the taquitos, there was also cheese stick gate. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah.
When
I forgot about that.
someone tried to make cheese sticks on there, and then somebody that was on our team that did not contribute money to the hot dog maker took it upon themselves to walk in there and take one of the uncooked cheese sticks off of the roller, and it wasn't even cooked, and that was like a whole like to do because they just kept taking stuff off of the hot dog roller that wasn't theirs.
And he ate it, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I remember that. I forgot about that.
Yeah. So Preston's right. It wasn't just hot dogs. It was cheese sticks, taquitos. That's really what pushed it over the edge, I think.
This was the kind of life we lived, Nick.
It was a disaster.
It was a complete disaster. It should have been absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, Glizzy's on deck, and you ruined everything. You ruined everything.
Glizzies were never cooked in the Glizzy maker. They were all taquitos, cheese sticks. Everything was ruined.
Also,
Chris, I'm pretty sure that is still in your garage right now. Right?
I think I got rid of it. I either gave it away or threw it out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
garage sale it?
That still. I don't know. We could have. But this was way before Glizzy was a thing. I just want to say that. So stop saying Glizzy because they were hot dogs. It was a hot dog maker.
Oh, that's fine. Whatever.
How close is it?
I will say, I think after we did the hot dog thing, Preston officially stopped doing like the random prizes for stuff too. Because remember when we got into if you got an op or if you did something, he would give away something, and it was always something that he had already like bought and just didn't want to use anymore. Like when he got hooked on, he had to play the PlayStation 2 game, and then he was like, "All right, first person that makes gets an op I'll give you the PlayStation 2." And like nobody even wanted to get an op because nobody wanted the PlayStation 2. So I think the hot dog, the approval came from when we hit some accomplishment, and I think after the fire incident, he was like, "Yeah, I'm not offering these guys anything else."
It was a PS3, by the way, Brittany. It was a PS3.
At one point, Preston's just hawking away his stuff, just trying to throw it to us secondhand.
He bought a bunch of like sports stuff and was like, "Hey, if you do this, I can get you this Gators watch." And I'm like, "I don't even like the Gators." And he's like, "Who in the office does like the Gators?"
This is true.
No one's smart. No one's smart.
Nick, we could do this all day. Like there. So in our job, we had to book meetings to get commission, right? But our lovely boss decided to tell us that our commission was capped, meaning at a certain point for that month, we couldn't get paid any more money. So Brittany and I, being the rock stars that we were always over goal. And on like the last week of every month, we would always sandbag a few opportunities because we couldn't get paid for them. And Preston would always be like, oh, our team goal, we're down. Like, me and Brittany are like, oh, well, we're up. Oh, can you just get one more? All right, here's one more. I'd give him one more, even though I wouldn't get paid for it. Brittany would give one more. He'd be, all right, guys, we're at goal. And, all right, we're not doing that next month. Well, next month come. All right, guys, we're 1 or 2 under goal. I need somebody to step it up. Well, here's me or Brittany again. How many do you have? Yeah. All right, we'll give up 1. So this goes on for a while. People are always like, why is it always on the first of the month that Chris and Brittany always have like 5 of their 7 goal or whatever the number was? And it's because we were always, holding them back until one day Preston decides to come to us and he's like, hey guys, remember how I told you that your commission was capped? Well, I actually misunderstood it, and your commission is uncapped, so you can go over goal anytime you want. And we're just like, so for the last 6 months, we could have been making more money. And he's like, oh, so you guys have been holding out on me and holding opportunities. I knew it.
Yeah, I actually think about that often. I misunderstood the commission report or statement that originally came out.
The whole structure, apparently.
The whole structure. I misunderstood the whole entire. I misunderstood the assignment. So
it really did never fail though that we'd get a team message and be like, "You guys come in my office really quick," and then we'd be like, he'd just be like, "I know one of you has a holdover. We're behind in the team, so I need one of you to do it." And I was like, I don't know if I have anything. Chris was like, I don't think I have anything either. And he's like, well, how about you guys go back to your desk and figure out who does, and then put it in. And then Chris and I we'd go back and he'd be like, how many do you have? I was like, well, I have 2. And he's like, well, I only have 1 right now. I'm like, I guess I'll put 1 in. And then he'd be like, it's magical that one of you instantly now has one.
Before the end of the day.
I remember getting phone calls from my boss, and be like, so it seems like Chris hasn't done anything in like the past week. And I'm like, well, I'm sure he has. They're like, but how come it looks like he's done like an entire month's worth of work this first day of the month, all of a sudden out of nowhere? And I'm like, I don't know. I just lucky day, I guess.
Oh shit. I mean, I definitely loved being in the office with you guys. It made it so much more fun. I love working remote now and everything that happened with COVID, but out of the few times in my life that I was working in office, that was one of my funnest times. And that's kind of my last question, to kind of wrap this up, Brittany. What did that office dynamic mean to you at the time? I know that you are remote now. Life is probably much more hectic with a baby running around and trying to work in the home. But what was that dynamic that we formed and the bond that we made? What did that mean to you at the time, and how do you kind of reflect on that now?
Honestly, like my whole time at that office, not even just with you all, I mean, it really did change like a huge part of my life because that was my first job when I moved to Florida, because like I grew up in Michigan and then I moved to Florida with no friends, no family, no nothing. So like a lot of my friendships and my social life like did revolve around a lot of the stuff at work. So not just with you guys, but everybody in that office, like it really did feel, as cheesy as it sounds, like a lot of those people did become like family for a long time. Like a lot of those people came to my wedding, getting to meet you and Preston, like we really all did become super close, and now we have that friendship even though we don't all work together. It's not, I would prefer to never have to go back into an office, if I'm being honest, but it's something I wouldn't change for the world. So like if you ever get the opportunity to do something like that, to build that foundation, I mean, I would definitely recommend it to anybody, but it's something that I wouldn't put a price on it, and I would do it over again if I had to.
I love that. Thank you. And you kind of talked a little bit about where we're going next. You were from Michigan, you moved to Florida. That's where you had these jobs and you laid the foundation for your life. You met your wife, you had your baby here, you bought one of your first homes here, and then kind of uprooted everything that you built in Florida to go back home. raising a family is not easy, and you have family back home in Michigan. It's where you're from. So that was kind of the move that you made. And when you make that cross country move, there to here, here to there, a lot of your life changes. When you meet new people in different areas, when you're building your family, you make a lot of sacrifices. Before we put this podcast together, one of the segments that you always thought was attention grabbing was to talk about old dreams, what could have been or what directions changed in all of those moves and all of that time. What's been a dream that you let go of, and do you ever kind of look back on that dream now, and was it a positive? Was it a negative? Was it just something neutral?
Yeah, I think before, especially before like I was married, had kids, all that stuff, a big part of like my identity, who I was like my work, all that stuff, and not saying it's not important to me now. But I just remember being like in my early 20s, mid 20s, thinking like, oh, well, I'm not successful unless I have this huge title. I'm not successful if I'm not making X amount of money. I'm not like, I have to get to these things to truly be successful. But now, having grown up a little bit, having gotten married, have this family, how much my life has changed from then and there, I realize my definition of success is not what it is anymore. Like, my definition of success is the fact that, like, my wife gets to be a stay-at-home mom. My kid gets to have that one-on-one with her mom every day, and we don't have to send her to daycare. I do, yes, I'm the breadwinner still, but I get to know that she's getting to live out that one-on-one time and they get to go do fun things during the day. Like, they are my why. When I look at what makes me successful, it's them. Like, just getting to see them be happy, us be happy. It's so different than if you would have asked me this, like I said, in my early 20s. I'm like, no, like, that's just something that comes with it. But that truly is, like, that is my new dream. Like, that's what makes me happy. And as much as I still want to be successful in my work and my career, as much as I still want to be, valued, I still, obviously, who doesn't want to make money? But as much as those are still important, nothing is more important to me than my family is. So that definitely has been a dream that has changed and shifted, and I don't think in a bad way, just in a way that I don't think I ever expected it to.
Yeah. It's funny because, we're in sales or, have been in sales or gotten into sales, and that's kind of always what people get into sales for. Chasing the money, chasing the image, chasing the yachts and the mansions and the cars, because all of the money that comes with sales and commission. And it's funny for me because I don't think that was ever my goal. Like, even really early on, it was never, oh, I want to make all this money. I just want to be comfortable. And honestly, I always wanted a family, right? So when I had my first kid, Kinsley, and I went through that kind of breakup, didn't get married with her mother, it hurt so very deeply. So I can appreciate the fact that your life kind of pivoted and your view on life changed when you were building that family, and it wasn't really a work kind of first mentality. Do you think that there's certain industries, do you think that's still a stigma, or now because we talk about, parenting and being open, that people are kind of like bred with that notion of, hey, if you're in sales, with all the rap songs, you got to get that bag, you got to be a millionaire. Is that something that you think people have to achieve by a certain age?
I think it's still very much like that is still like a, I don't know if I want to say culture or industry, but I think that still is very much a thought that like young adults or when you're at work, that's still very much about like, you have to be getting this money, you got to get the bag, you got to chase the paper, whatever the kids want to call it these days. But I definitely think that's still the main driver. I think what is super nice for me is I work for an organization that like they very much tailor the work-life balance, like families first. We obviously all want to make money, all be successful, but like your family always comes first. And I think it's number one, finding a company or a place like that values that, and that's what you want. I don't think there's anything wrong with chasing the money either. Like I said, like I get it. Who doesn't want to make money? You know what I mean? I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I just think you have to decide what your priorities are and figure that out.
Yeah. And Nick, I know that we've kind of talked on the side to where you're kind of that in that mindset right now. You know, you have a different life aspect going on. You talked about, you know, I'm ready to make that money, you know, make as much money as I can right now. Where, you know, let me kind of ask you that same question. You're also a father. You have a lot of life experience. We've talked about a lot of loss. In any of that, was there a dream that you kind of let go of? You know, what was it, and have you thought about it since?
Well, I mean, I went to school for biochemistry. I wanted to be a pharmaceutical engineer. So, like, yeah,
Oh wow.
like I drastically different career path than what I wanted to do and what I thought I was going to do. I don't know necessarily if it like the dream though shifted. I think the dream's still the same. I still I want to be successful, just maybe not in the path that I was at. But also like Brittany had said that view of success maybe has shifted as well. Like to more not maybe excess, but just to be more comfortable to be able to just make sure my daughter doesn't want for anything. I don't necessarily want for anything. I have a good life. Um, but where the mindset right now about making more money and all that was just I have a lot of wasted time. So now I'm
Yep.
like shifting
Time to
that
pivot.
mindset to that wasted time is now being monetized. So that's what we're doing.
Yeah. Monetization, something that we can't do on YouTube now, thanks to Preston's life choices on our music. So with that, again, Preston, a different dynamic for you, right? No kids. You're kind of in your bachelor phase right now still. Congratulations on, you know, a promotion and the length that you've had at this company. But what's what's a dream maybe from your different life perspective that you're either chasing or you have pivoted, and what does that look like from your end?
I don't know. I don't know if there's necessarily a dream that I can think of that I've given up or pivoted from. I don't know. Let's see. Job is definitely very interesting right now, as we talked about earlier today. I never thought that I would be in the position that I'm in right now.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
you're definitely growing. I mean, knowing you, you've always been, you know, a workaholic, ready to commit to a company that's giving back to him. So, you know, that's definitely a dream that you're chasing right now as you kind of, you know,
Well,
grow out that organization.
I guess you could say, like, I don't want to say a dream, but so I come from a family of educators. So I kind of always wanted to be a teacher whenever I was younger.
Okay.
And now that I'm in this particular business position, teaching people how to do business, I guess, is something that I get a lot of how do you say, not gratitude, but I'm really happy to do and watch, teach people how to do that and watch them grow. You two, by the way, Brittany, Chris, both of you guys, super happy to see your guys' success. So yeah, I don't know.
I will say.
So would you consider us your coaching tree?
What's that?
I said, would you consider us your coaching tree?
You're part of it, 100%. Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Brittany?
I was gonna say, not to get sappy, but I will say Preston probably is one of, well, we definitely had a good time at work. He's probably one of the leaders I will credit most for taking the time to teach us stuff, to make us understand, like, why. Like, it wasn't just a, hey, do this because I told you to do it. He always, like, went into, like, explanation of why we're doing this. He very much was like I don't care what you do, but give me the proof of why you're doing it. And then as long as you could do that, he was like, all right, like, I back you, like, I'll have your back, I'll have all that. So even though you're not a teacher, I do think from a leadership, you do a very good job coaching and developing your team. So, and I know we give you a lot of crap, so not to get sappy, but.
Thank you. Even though that you were, going to flip my desk over at one point, I had to bring that up, by the way.
I told you we could go on forever.
I have to keep you on your toes.
Okay. For anybody that doesn't know, Brittany one day walked into my office and said, "I'm about to flip your desk over right now."
Okay.
Listening, yes.
Okay.
No, I said everybody listening. You said for anybody that doesn't know, well, it was only me, you, and Brittany, and like 3 other people. So everybody doesn't know.
To be
I
fair,
had some margaritas. I told you that.
to be fair, why I said that though
To be fair.
was partially, I think, Chris's fault, because we made a bet if I could stand at my desk for 2 straight days and said no chair, and I had to stand on this weird balance board thing that Preston had randomly brought in. Again, I think a thing he tried to give to us later on at some point in time. If I could stand on that, and mind you, I used to dress up back in the office, so like I was in heels one day, like I had to stand on this thing for 2 straight days. He would give me 2 days of PTO, which I needed to go to Michigan. And then I think on the last day, like I was like a couple hours before finishing, I think Chris said, hey, like Preston said he's not actually going to give you those PTO days. Like he was just messing with you. He can't even give those to you. And my feet hurt so bad by then. I was like, oh, hell no. And I just went in there. I was like, if you're not going to give me those PTO days after I did all this, I'm flipping your desk over. So tell me right now. And he was like, who said that? Who said that?
Oh, man. That's what caused that.
Yes.
Holy cow. I forgot.
Of course it was Chris. Of course it was.
You guys have great memories because I don't remember most of this. Well, of course it was me. Of course it was me. Oh man. So right back into segment 1. Right, we can talk about this office stuff for days, but I agree with Brittany, Preston. Just to kind of give you your flowers, I know that it was always so. I hired Preston, and then Preston came in, and our new boss loved Preston so much he gave him like so much more responsibility. I was like, damn, how's this guy always taking everything that I want to do? And then here we are, the next year, and it's the Preston's like, oh, you can come work for me. I'm like, oh man, all right. Well, I guess this guy's good, and we've formed that bond ever since, that friendship. But I do tend to agree that while you are quite challenging as a person, you are a fantastic manager and very fun to mess with.
Clearly, pretty fun to be messed with, I guess. Yeah.
Awesome. So, old dream, new direction. It was kind of the family aspect that had you pivot, and that's where you kind of found a different purpose for your life, and I love that. And when we talk about parenthood, how does that transition into everything that you've learned? How does that transition into the parent that you hope to be, that you want to be, being the workaholic, being the supporter, being, I know that you enjoy other things outside of work and life, family, everything else. Just what kind of parent do you hope to be, now that you've had your first child?
Yeah, that's deep. I mean, I grew up with 2 parents that work in like the automotive industry, so they worked a ton of hours, and my mom was very big about like making sure we had everything that she never had growing up. So as much as it was great because we did, like, I never wanted for anything, she couldn't come to like a lot of our school stuff. Like, she missed out on that aspect of it. So I think when it comes to being a parent, as much as I want to give my kids everything possible, because I don't feel like I missed out on anything, but everything that they possibly could need, I also want to still be that active member too. Like, I don't want my wife having to do all of that for me. Like, I want to be just as involved as she is. So I just think being a present parent is my goal in life, I guess. Like, when I'm done working, my time goes to them. I'm not on my phone a lot when I'm around them, kind of thing. So just, being a present parent, probably.
Yeah, that's important. I kind of grew up in the same home where, obviously, I love my parents to death. They were both in the same mindset of, hey, we need to give our son, still to this day, everything that we didn't have. And my mom owned a restaurant, worked at a restaurant, and she kind of went through that same notion of, she was always working late. I'm missing his baseball games. I'm missing this at school. Well, I'm going to shut the restaurant down at night, and we're only going to serve lunch. But then, on weekends, she's usually working. So again, she was missing things, and then getting older, growing up, all the holidays, it's the best time to work at a restaurant in the industry. So she was still missing all of those. And I know that now she's retired and she gets to spend a lot of time with me and my kids. And that's kind of the trade-off, right? You have to find that balance of that work-life balance of how truly much do I want to work in order to also be present for my kids. So I think that's a great kind of life philosophy to have. With a newborn baby and kind of going through the transition that you guys made moving to Michigan, I know that you had a couple of different jobs in that time span. What surprised you? What was one of the harder challenges, or what surprised you about parenthood when you kind of, jumped right into it?
I think the biggest surprise to me, honestly, like, I feel really bad saying this, because, like, I have 2 dogs, and, like, Christian, you're the same way. Like, we love our dogs. Like, they're part of the family. They're our kids. Preston, you're now a dog dad. You get it. And I remember being like, oh, I'm never gonna, like, love anything as much as I love my 2 dogs. Like, it's just not possible. Like, I'd push Britt in front of them if I needed to save them, type of thing. And then we had Blake, and we got pregnant with my daughter Blake, and I knew I would love her. Like, I knew that, but I was just like, I have experienced this love, like, I get it. But then when she was actually born in here, it just, like, I've never, like, it's something that I know everyone besides Preston here is a parent. It's just, like, it's a love that you can't ever, like, it's physically not possible to describe. Like, the way she just makes my day, or she's just absolutely a menace to society, and I still love everything about her. Like, it's that. Like, I never expected to love someone so much, or, like, to not even be able to describe how much I love someone, because she's just that amazing.
It's like that meme. That meme where it's like the kid's been a shithead all day, and so you get them to go to bed, and then the mom or dad's like, oh, I miss them.
Yeah, like when she goes to sleep and you're just like looking at old pictures of them and you're like, oh, yeah, all right, it's fine. Like today was
an monster, but I miss you.
Yeah, like today was absolutely
Turn
insane.
on the camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Watch them sleep.
Yep. Yep. My question, I guess I want to pass this to you, Nick. You have a daughter. You just mentioned kind of a few minutes ago how it's your goal, to make sure that she's supported and loved. How has becoming a father kind of changed you to evolve over the last, I think she's coming up on 16, right?
Yeah, no,
16 years.
I became a dad at 22. So I had to grow up quick. I struggled through my 20s so she could have a good life, and now that she's older, I'm older, I'm in a position to where, like, she doesn't really want for too much, and her mom does well too, so that whole situation, like her mom and her stepdad, like I said, between the 3 of us at this point, like, there's not, like, she's not spoiled. She's hardworking. This summer she went and spent the summer with her grandparents, but she worked at an ice cream shop the whole summer up in a beach town up in the Panhandle. So she's an incredible. But no, like, I get to answer your question. I mean, it teaches you to grow up quick. I know what it is to be selfless now. You think you might, but you definitely are. You definitely figure that out quickly. That okay, like, this is what it actually really means.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it gets thrown at you. You evolve. You make the best of it. I think you're doing a wonderful job, by the way. And Preston, a newly founded dog dad. So the same question goes to you. How are you handling having to get back to your dog, and with all the traveling that you're doing, and have you kind of evolved with good old Blue?
Love my dog. Blue's everything. So obviously can't relate to all of the other stuff that you guys just said. But I wouldn't say a new dog dad. A recently kind of, I've had dogs my whole life. But took a break from having a dog. Now I have a dog.
Dog on your own. You don't live with your parents or anybody else, right? Is this your first time having a dog alone, or no?
No, not my first time having a dog alone.
I'll just go fuck myself then.
Yeah.
All right. My last question, Brittany. There's a component, right? So you've got a wife, you've got a daughter, and how does that work, right? How does that work? Walk me through what pregnancy looks like from your perspective.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty, so I feel like, especially talking to, I have a friend, she's also pregnant, she has a husband, so for the non-caring parent, very similar experience. I feel like they have to deal with all of the pregnancy emotions, but when we first got married and decided, we're going to have kids, that was a big conversation, and right away I told Brett, like, I would like to carry, but if you want to, open to that too. And my wife is just a big baby when it comes to pain, so she was like, cold will take me out, so feel free. And then I had to have a C-section with our daughter, so I'm currently pregnant with our second, and everyone asked her, like, oh, Britt didn't want to carry. Thank you. And I was like, no, she saw me 20 hours of labor and still have to have an almost emergency C-section. That girl's probably never volunteering to have kids. Yeah, she's like, no. She's like, well, we might be the same gender. This is not an equal situation. She's out. But yeah, I mean, otherwise, like, everything else is pretty much the same. Like I said, Britt has to deal with all of my, crazy pregnancy stuff, but she rocks it. She's the best partner I could ask for in this experience. Like, I wouldn't want to do it with anyone else. And yeah, like, she's an amazing mom with our kids, and she used to be a teacher also, so just the things our daughter has learned and how advanced she is, like, I just have to credit all of that to her. I'd love to say it's my genes, but I think just her sass comes from me, but yeah, it's been great.
Do you think, because it's female, do you think she has a little bit more understanding and compassion? When our wives are always pregnant, they're always like, oh, men will never understand. Men will never get how I'm feeling. Because it's female, do you think that she, has a little bit more, I don't even want to say empathy, but I guess just understanding and empathy towards the situation?
I do. I think it also, like, not to go to the whole male-female thing, but I also think, like, women are, I don't necessarily know if I want to say the word trained, but we're taught that you have to be empathetic from a very early age, where I think for men, you guys kind of learn empathy as you go, or you get to decide how to be empathetic versus it's something we're told, like, hey, girls are soft, girls are nice, girls are, like, you have to care about others is a very, like, ingrained thing. And I don't think every female is like that, so don't get me wrong. But I do think from my standpoint, that's exactly it. Like, Britt is very empathetic of what I'm going through. She always wants to make sure I'm taken care of, that I'm, like, I'm not overdoing it or making sure that I'm comfortable. And again, not saying, because, like, I've never had a male partner in this experience, but I think it's a little bit easier for her to empathize what I'm going through because she knows she could also be going through it. But that's the thing too, like, especially if your partner is pregnant, that's a big thing. You should just be there for them. And, like, I mean, I've seen you do it twice, so I know how you are with Callie, and that's just it. Like, you just have to be supportive, you just have to be there. But I just think, again, I also want to say, I just think it, again, depends on your partner, too.
Yeah. Yeah. Incredible. Although it's the same scenario that I've been in, it's absolutely completely different. And it's always good to get a different perspective on it, so I appreciate you sharing that.
Yeah.
Gentlemen.
Yes, thank you.
Any other questions for our first official guest before we kind of wrap up the end of this very special episode?
No. It was a pleasure to meet you. Thank you.
Thank you. And, Nick, I might need to, like, use you in a few years, when I have 2 teenage daughters, and be like, how do you survive? I might need you to do another podcast.
I make guns.
Firearms, right? They're firearms.
They're firearms.
You did correct me when I said guns, so the PC term is firearms.
Said firearms. I didn't correct you at all. You asked me what I did, and I said I made firearms. You said guns. I was like, it doesn't matter. Like, the same
one
thing.
last side note,
dude. I am one of those. If you didn't know, you don't know me. You half the time you don't know what I make. Like, because I don't push it. Like, I'm easy.
Is there a portfolio for a firearm maker? I don't really know how to tell those people apart.
I could just show my blueprints, I guess, and things.
www.firearms.com.
Firearms only.
That exists, yeah.
Last kind of side question, Brittany. It's ironic that you and your wife have the same name spelled very differently. What has that been like in your dynamic, and how often do people get so frustrated?
It's not frustrated. I'd say it's honestly like their favorite thing to ask us. Like, are they like, oh my gosh, how does that work at your house? Like, how does that go? And I always make the joke of like, well, the bills come, they're all for her, obviously. But it's really not like it's honestly not too crazy, thankfully, because our names are spelled differently. The funniest thing to me though is the number of people that have asked us why we didn't name our daughter Blake Brittany. Like, they're like, you had the perfect opportunity to like name her Brittany also going. And keep it going. And I'm like, could you imagine her going to school and be like, my name's Brittany, and then I have two moms and they're both named? Like, that would be so insane. I'm like, no, never crossed my mind.
Don't do that to your children.
No.
You could have just spelled it a third different way.
No, don't do that.
My brother literally called me and he's like, I got a bone to pick with you. And I'm like, when I was pregnant, or like right after she was born. And I was like, okay, what's going on? He's like, how often do two girls with the same name get married, then they get pregnant with a girl, and you don't use that opportunity to name her after yourselves? And I was like, no. Yeah. And now having another girl, they're like, now's your chance. Like, you can do a do-over. I'm like, I'm not naming her. Like, there's not going to be a third Brittany.
Will she also have a B? Have you decided on the name? Will she also be a B? B's?
We have, but it's actually, we're naming her Riley, so she is going to be the odd. I have a little bit of mom guilt, because it's like, obviously we're both Brittany, our daughter's name is Blake, our dog's name is Benson, and then we have Charlie, so I'm like, it's just Charlie and Riley kind of by themselves, but I'm like, you know what, it's fine. We just can never have another dog with the name B.
Yeah, yep.
No anything with B again. I think it's done now.
Yep.
The B ends here. Any last words as the special guest for our special episode that you want to leave the listeners with?
No, I'm just want to say I'm super proud of you for, doing your podcast and putting yourself out there. And I know I've been a listener to every episode, so it's been great to be here, and just appreciate you guys letting me be on.
Yeah, much love, my friend. Much love. I appreciate you being on. It's been awesome. Preston, it's been good to have you back here with the tripod. As everybody knows, the rebrand is here. I have not given up on the podcast. For the people who want to see my downfall out there, it has not been too much. I can navigate work, kids, and this passion project of mine. As I told you guys many times in kind of the opening, I'm going to show up every week and just kind of see this thing through. So I appreciate all the kind words to everybody who reached out thinking that the podcast was over, but this is just the beginning of the You Good podcast. We want you guys involved. We're going to start having more guests on, which I think is an awesome addition, an awesome segment. So I invite you guys to reach out to us at crodspod@gmail.com with any stories, with any topics, with any interest. Our kind of space is here for and through you. Also follow us on @crodspod on Instagram. We are now officially, even more good news, it just keeps on coming, on YouTube podcasts now. So that's Spotify, Apple, YouTube, iHeartRadio. I'm not going to sit here and say, or anywhere you get your podcast, because we haven't expanded that far yet. But we are trying, but there is little reason to not listen to us anymore. Give us a try, give us a shout. Please share, follow, like, live your life, whatever it might be. Nick, I know you hate this, but the tagline has not changed, except for slightly. We'll catch you all next Thursday. And as always, live fast, eat ass, or just remind someone they matter today.